one of the leading pundits on the topic of Apple is a gentleman by the name of Dan Ives, who works for Wedbush Securities. And over time, Dan Ives has been interviewed on quite a number of very popular investor television and radio shows. For example, Bloomberg Surveillance. And he's quite bullish on tech in particular, and Apple as his spotlight stock. And as this headline from Yahoo Finance makes clear, and this was published 1 month ago today, he's now come out with a prediction that Apple will hit a $3 trillion market cap by the end of 2021. I'm pretty skeptical about that. Before I dive into why I think not, I'd like to also mention there's been another set of very, very bullish forecasts recently made for another big darling of the tech trade, Tesla. And those have come from Cathie Wood, who's also made a very similar prediction, actually, not over the same time frame, but nonetheless claiming that Tesla is going to reach $3 trillion in market cap. I'm also real skeptical about that one, and hope to be able to talk about that one in a subsequent video. But the biggest reason for this, and I'll just put my cards right on the table at the start, I'm a firm believer in what Peter Lynch championed, which is buy what you know. So I'm going to make a comment from my own personal experience, having dealt recently with a big switch in my smartphone platform from Apple iPhone to Google Pixel. And I can tell you the customer experience is absolutely atrocious trying to come out of the Apple walled garden. And this really set me to thinking. And in the process of doing this thinking, I came at some realizations. For example, our household sunk a lot of money into Apple HomePod, to the tune of almost $1,000 to buy 2 of these. And as this headline makes clear, from March 15th, actually, HomePod is the large HomePod, which is the model that we bought, is being discontinued. And so now I've got a couple of speakers sitting around my house, and I can't use a personal assistant to talk to them since I'm getting out of the Apple ecosphere, as it were. And so a bad taste is left in my mouth about that. And why did we actually make our decision to vacate Apple realm, the Apple realm, and go over to Google? A lot of it had to do with Siri, the personal assistant. And again, talking from my own personal experience, I can say that and here it's talking to me in the middle of this video, which is quite inconvenient. But the bottom line is that Apple is light years behind Google, and actually almost the same behind Amazon as far as the sophistication and capability of its personal assistant. I think that's a big deal. I think it's a big deal that's going to affect the stock, because I think that voice computing is going to take off at some point. And I can't mention enough how superior the experience of using Google Assistant is to using Siri. So the demise of HomePod, the full HomePod model as an item to be bought, is an example of Apple not getting into the markets it needs to, and continuing to rely on old markets. And this is an old story that we've seen before. Anyone who's been around for a while, like me, has seen this before with IBM, with its inability to migrate beyond the mainframe computer. Microsoft, in terms of its inability to migrate beyond the Office suite of productivity applications. And it's not a healthy sign, and certainly not the sign of a company that's going to go gangbusters up to $3 trillion in market value. And another example of where Apple has been lagging behind the competition is in terms of the smart home. I've written on the smart home in the past. It's a big topic. It's hard to get out of silos in the world of smart home. But nonetheless, Amazon and Google have done a better job of actually sidestepping the need for special protocols in terms of smart lights, smart speakers, security systems than has Apple. So now, as this story from Bloomberg makes clear, written by Mark Gurman, which was published on March 22nd today, people have found that buried in the new HomePod Mini, they have found a temperature sensor, and that's leading them to expect that Apple's going to jump into the smart home market again. I'm not so sure about that, but the fact that it's out there, there is chatter about Apple getting into the market, and also keeping in mind that Apple was in the market quite early and then stepped out of it, should not be a actually very bullish indicator to investors. It's just pointing out where Apple has failed to go in directions that might have actually proved to be profitable for the company. And this story by Gurman, by the way, also notes the comparative lack of sophistication and intelligence in Siri as being a big obstacle for Apple getting more into this market. As this story from the Wall Street Journal makes clear, the consumer appetite for voice computing isn't going to go away anytime soon, and in fact, it's going to continue to grow. And Apple investors should keep in mind, or should be asking themselves, is this reticence on the part of Apple, its hesitation to go deeper into voice computing, an indicator that it plans to hold on for some time to come on the display as the big attraction in terms of smartphones? And if that's the case, I'm not sanguine at all. So that's just a thought for you if you've got a position in Apple. I don't see it going to $3 trillion in market cap. How about you? My name's Ira Michael Blonder. I'm the CEO and founder of a company called IMB Enterprises, Inc. I've been active primarily in the enterprise computing space for over 35 years now. And I'm an entrepreneur. I started my own business way back when satellite television was the rage, and have taken it forward from there. If you have an idea and you'd like to talk to me about it, please don't hesitate to give me a call. I always will handle a short call at no charge. My phone number is in the United States is 631-673-2929. My company's blog is https://www.imbenterprises.com/our-blog. My Twitter page is @MikeTheBebop. Speak with you soon.